sure there are many participants who would be listening from the respective centers as well. Okay, so if you remember, see, we have done time management and a couple of times already, right? And I remember a year and a half ago, or maybe initial stages of DC Live, we did this once. And so it's an opportunity. And we did it a couple of months ago, I believe, right? But it's again such an important aspects of our life. So there's nothing wrong in revisiting it again and understanding the nuances of it, and also understanding why should we bother about time, right? And so it's a very important and intriguing aspect of our life, right? And if one focuses on the time, right, what they have, right, that's the actually the life, isn't it? And so we live our life in the time, right, and every moment is passing by. So how is that you're going to make the time count, right? So these are the stuff which is very important, very intriguing as well. And so let's understand there are a couple of things. One is like the corporate life, right? And so I always feel that the corporate life and the personal life is not much different, right? Because if you are very organized in your personal life, somewhere down the line it will brush up in your work as well. And if you are very organized in your work, I don't think so you would be very lethargic or other way around in your personal life, right? And it's the same individual, isn't it? The mindset is same, and a lot of other stuff which is actually the same, because the individual is absolutely same. So let's talk about this. So this time what I thought is that we will keep it very interactive, right? And I would have I do have as usual, we have the presentation and stuff like that, but I would request everybody, I would let's make it very interactive. We all have lived life, right? And we are not in we are working in a company, and we have our own what do you call information, knowledge, or our take on different things in life. So I would open this forum more than other sessions so that we can interact with everybody, and so that would be the objective, right? So as I said, let's have a quick let me share the screen. And so the first thing first is like we will talk about. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. If somebody can give me a note, so that will be great. Is this visible? It
Yes.
says welcome.
Yes, Arman sir, it is visible.
Okay, right. Because of all the tab setting and everything has changed. Right. Okay, fabulous. So welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. And so let's begin. So the first thing is like, yeah, time management, right? Look at this lady, how she is sitting on the particular clock. And so probably at one hand, maybe you can say work, and other hand, maybe a lot of other things as well. Okay. So the point here is like we all have the same time. If somebody says that I've got 25 hours in a day, right, it doesn't make any sense. We all have the same 365 days and 6 hours in a year, isn't it? Nobody has less, nobody has more. So the point here is like there are a couple of things. One is like time. If you remember last week we did goal setting. So there are two elements in that. One is goal, another is setting. So similarly, time and management. So as I said, I'll keep it open this time, go to more participants. So anyone wants to come in and want to share what they think about time management and what it is exactly and according to them. Anyone who wants to share? What is time? What is management? Okay, so let's go to some from where I believe I would get answers. And so let's start with whom do I? So it's always let's go to Nelson this time. Nelson, what do you think about that? Or what is time management, and why should one worry about it? And I hope he can untab soon. Sometimes there's a kind of a time delay. Okay, so can I go to Arun? Arun, you want to throw some thoughts on this? What is time management? Why should we worry about it?
Yeah, morning, Saronan, and morning
Very,
all.
yeah,
So basically, yes, this time management topic has been emphasized by us for a lot of sessions.
yeah,
So that itself shows that how important that is.
right,
So yeah, see, I think the most valuable thing in the whole world as a universe now, as if is many people think it is money, but
right,
actually it is not.
mm,
It is time, which is something very important.
right,
Once it is lost, we won't get it back.
mm-hmm,
So that's the most important reason that is so valuable.
mm-hmm,
And we get around 24 hours in a day. And how do we manage it? How do we make utmost use of it is something very, very important. And that is where this time management skills will come into play.
true,
And it also leads to a good time management methodology, leads to less amount of pressure.
true,
So we can make sure that we are relaxed and working. We have planned ourselves. We have prioritized ourselves, all the tasks. So end of the day, every task is completed. At the same time, everything is like put in place, and we have done the job. So our conscience is good that whatever task was assigned was done, and we make sure that the time has been managed appropriately and well, not only appropriately, well managed. So that would be my take on this.
very fabulous and very mature stuff, and that is precisely what it is. And a couple of things what Arun mentioned is like the lost time never comes back, and which is absolutely true. And if you all remember that famous, especially that Hindi song "Aane wala pal jaane wala hai," so what it means is like the moment which is there today or now is going to pass in a while, right? So very interesting and very that sums up the time management actually, right? So and also he talked about a very interesting thing, right? The money is not the most important thing, so that's again calls for another debate actually, what is more important, right? But absolutely true, because if you manage your time well, if you know the skills what you have, how you can, because we all have limited time in this earth, isn't it? And so what understanding our skill, what we have and what we are good at, and how we can do it to a best of our ability is itself is managing yourself, managing your time, and that will take you to the greater heights, right? So that is again pretty important. So the money will come, and there will be less pressure on yourself, which is again very very important point which Arun just mentioned. Because see, somewhere down the line, if you look at if those who organize their time better, they're able to do much better at work, right? And if you look at in any team, leave about Desi Crew, generally any company, so the employees, they have same set of goals. It's not like one team member, if they're working on the same project and same sort of work, everybody have similar targets or similar KRA, right? How is that one is able to do better than other, right? And so it could be the skill wise, or it could be a lot of other stuff as well. And skill can be learned, right? Skill can be learned, and this is what I keep saying. If you take sports analogy, right? And not everybody were blessed like Sachin Tendulkar, right? Sachin was a born genius. At 16 and a half, he was playing in Pakistan, Sialkot, where he got hit by a fast delivery by Bakar Yunus, and so Sidhu walked him to say, and then he said that there is a lot of stuff, right? So would you like to take a break and go because your nose is broken? But he said he want to play. So one is attitude. Another thing is like he was a genius. But if you look at the other individual, which is Rahul Dravid, and this is what he has said in several times on several occasions. See, even when he was when Sachin was in school, he was representing our country. Even in college team, he was finding it difficult to get into. But we all know him, right? He's our current Indian team coach, and he was called the Wall as well. So he was not blessed, right? But that doesn't mean he was not a great player, because many of the test series or test matches which we have won abroad is because of him. So what it says is like sometimes skill can be learned, right? Skill is something we can learn, right? If How you will be able to learn? Because if you have the right attitude, if you're able to manage your time well, if you understand the importance of you, right? Understand the importance of you. So this is precisely what it is. So this is what it's all about. So if you're able to manage, let's get back to the company setup where employees are working together in the thing, they have the same KRA, right? Someone who is able to manage their time well, they know what to do when and how they can and what is the skill they're lagging at and how can they improve on that, right? So these are something which is very, very important. And so let's look at a quick definition what we have here, right? So definition can again, this is only to just give you a kind of a clue or an information. So the very first thing is like time management. It's a process of planning. As they say, if you don't plan, right, most of the journeys doesn't end where you want the journey to end, right? So this is precisely what it is. The process of planning, right? How do you plan your day? So we'll talk about that, right? When should you plan your day? When should you plan for your life? When should you plan for a lot of other things, right? It could be a personal stuff as well. The process, are you even thinking about that, right? Then exercising conscious control of the time spent on specific activity. See, sometimes we generally will spend a lot of activity on the stuff which we like, right? But we may not be able to spend, but is it priority now? As Arun also mentioned, the word priority will come about, we'll talk about that. So what is priority, right? So we'll talk about that. Is it important at this point of time, what I'm doing now, right? I have a meeting maybe by what time? Maybe 1 o'clock. And we all have to present our points and share. So what is more important, right? And so is that important? Or probably I'm doing something else which is next week that is important. And sometimes we may not be able to prioritize that, right? Sometimes we are not even aware of the time, right? Oh my God, this is 4 o'clock, my God, right? So these are the things which is very, very important. Exercising cautious control of time spent on activities, which is very important. And so why should we do that? This is again the benefit part, because it will bring effectiveness. Because whatever you're doing, hey, how you're able to achieve your KRA month on month, you're able to do. Last month was tough, but still you did that because one important factor is, of course, the mindset, of course, the attitude, but also managing your time and also understanding what you need and how you can work on that, right? Not everybody is born genius, right? And we can work on a lot of skills which will help us, right? And so this is what it is, so effectiveness. So what is efficacy? So even in pharma, they talk about efficacy, right? How does the drug is working? If you have taken a medicine, are you getting immediate relief? So efficacy also talks about that, and also talks about the time or maybe the cost, right? So here we are talking about less time to do what is required. If somebody is able to do that in 2 hours and another person is able to do within half an hour, right? So that is what it is. And productivity. So what is productivity? See, productivity is nothing but how much we're able to achieve in a set of time, right? And that is precisely what productivity is, whether we are able to achieve what is being assigned to us. There might be tough tasks as well, which might not be easy for entire team to achieve, but are we able to do the minimum which is expected, right? And are we able to get better? So that is precisely what it is. So time management. So these are the things, if you see on the left, we will talk about that, right? Task, to-do list, priority, project plan, and achievement and stuff like that. Okay, so let's move ahead. So again, what is in it for me, right? Why should I do? So this is a big question. This is a question for your life actually, right? And you can ask when any task, if you are in doubt, put this question across and just think over this question. Why should I do this? Okay, if I want to learn language, right? And I want to improve on my communication, why should I do this? Why should I take this pain? Why should I come to this class and spend? Why should I not complete my work and finish my task and leave it now? What is it for me in future, right? How it will help me to scale up, right? In career wise, if I scale up in career wise, right? Yes, money is not important. That is what Arun said, but a lot of other members would say, yeah, if you give me money, then I forget about everything. So as I said, that's a debate which we can take it for another session. But the point is, would it help you, right? Would it give you comfort, or would it your life easier and right. So of course, let's be very honest, because at the end of the day, the comforts, you can argue about that. Money will not achieve or give you everything, but it will give you the basic comforts, right, which is very, very important. And that is again very, very important in this commercial world if you have to survive, right? So if I manage all this thing, if I do this, would there be any benefits, right? And again, we have to be patient with our results as well, right? If you sow a seed, you can't reap the fruit today itself. It doesn't happen. So you have to be patient. You have to do a lot of stuff which is right, and a lot of stuff which you do right, but you may not yield result, right? All these things are part and parcel of life, right? So it's not like everybody attains success immediately. Some may do, some may take time and stuff like. As long as the process is right, which what Dhoni keeps saying, right? Don't worry about the result. As long as the process is there, you will get the result. Okay, so why should we do this? To accomplish bigger results in a shorter period of time, which is very important, right? What is bigger result? That will be different for different individual. It could be personal, it could be other milestone at work and stuff like that. Allows you to be more productive, obviously. As Arun rightly mentioned, reduces your stress. There are some who will say, I am very stressed here. I'm very, very stressed. I'm this, that, this, and everything, right? It can happen, definitely. But if you go into the nitty gritty, in some cases, I'm not saying in all cases, the stress could be because you're piling up work. If I have something which I have to do today, if I put it for next day, if I put it for next day, as they say, tomorrow never comes. So obviously tomorrow never will come. And then one day when something comes up and they say, where is that? And then you have a pile of things. So this is actually not helping your mindset, helping your style, helping and creating more stress for you, right? So there are some who will be able to achieve things even at a tight schedule, tight pressure. Hey, today was a very tough day because we had a meeting for 1.5 hours. We had that, this, and everything. We had some failure in terms of that, but still you are able to do the target. Why? Right? So this is precisely what it is. So being organized will help you to achieve more. Okay, and effective time management clearly tells you where you are heading, right? What's your goal, where you're heading, and what's your purpose in life, and where you are heading. Okay, so let's move ahead. So let's discuss about the 4 Ds of time management, which is very, very important. We will talk about the techniques as well. And so after maybe this or maybe a couple of other slides, I will again open for everybody. And so let's see if we have some more who want to share something. So first thing is like 4 Ds of time management. Drop, right? Simple, drop. So we will talk about it. What is drop? Then delegate. So we'll talk about it. What is delegate, delay, or do, right? So not everything in the do list now at this point of time, right? And some can be dropped as well. Unimportant task can be dropped as well. And delegate, right? Where you can assign to someone, especially the TLs or maybe the leaders, right? Maybe the crewmate, those who are working on the stuff. Maybe certain things can be delegated, but maybe not. But we are talking about a little bit higher, right? If you put everything on your plate, then you'll have too much to chew, and it becomes too difficult for you as well, right? As they say. So delay. There are certain things which is not required now, which is not a priority. Maybe the meeting which is there on Wednesday, which is important, not priority now, because I need to work on the 2 o'clock meeting. I need to present something. Okay. So first thing is like drop certain unimportant things, task, which is not important now. Okay. So it's not required at all. Drop it. Okay. So the examples could be a lot of stuff. So suppose you are in sales, and maybe certain things where you've been following for a long time and it's yielding a lot of time, and in speaking to that client, and maybe you will keep them warm, as they say. Keep them warm is like keep talking to them, but your priority should be on other things. So you can probably keep them warm in the sense like being in touch, but it looks like it dropped certain unimportant, right? It's not going to work for you. It's not going to yield, the business not going to come, maybe, right? So that is what it is. So I've given one example. It could be a lot of other examples which is probably not required, right? Which is not required can be talked. Then delegate. We talked about that, right? Maybe if I'm working on some task, I may not be able to delegate. I've got 40 numbers, do 40 numbers for me. No, that is not on. But maybe as you go higher up, you need to learn how you can assign tasks to others, understand who has the capability to do what, right? And so this is what the team leader itself is a beautiful thing, right? Because you'll not get everybody as you want, right? It doesn't work in the real life. And you, as they say, you can't choose your boss as well, right? Nobody can choose a boss. You can choose a company, and then you probably work in a team. So this is where the human elements, see, we talk about AI, we talk about that, this and everything, but the human element is something which is really special, and which is like, this is where the emotions and a lot of other things, because your lifestyle is different, my lifestyle is different, my background is different, my growing up is a bit different, my understanding about this is different, your understanding is a bit different. So there are a lot of human element which comes into actually the stuff. So this is precisely what it is. So you need to understand the entire, so suppose you have a team of, see, there are many leaders who have in our company who have 40 or 50 or 60 as well, I believe, right? Maybe you may not be interactive, but if you look at maybe the smaller team where you might have 20 odd, so not 20 odd will be the lot which you actually want you and your team, right? They might be, you will always pick up the 5 who pick them automatically, right? And then you will have another 5 whom you guide them, they will do, and the other lot where you have to work with them, right? And they will be, so this is where it is important how you guide them, right? How you what is that is where your role comes in, right? Your picture comes in. How can you show them the bigger stuff and all? So this is again for a leadership stuff, we will talk about that, right? So delegate. So again, you need to understand what are the strengths of your team, what probably also the weakness as well, of course, and how you can guide someone who has a strength and delegate those tasks to those them and show them the bigger picture why you're doing, right? We recently did a show on English stuff where Chandra Prasad, right? And so he was there, and there was Aswin as well who was here. So what Chandra Prasad mentioned is like he was very desperate. He wanted to become a TL, right? And this is a real anecdote which is shared, which is recorded as well. And but he had to be patient. So he waited, and he got his opportunity during COVID. So this is an anecdote. This is a real anecdote. And so he was saying that he was not focusing on the KRA, right? I need to do 80. I'm done. My job is done. And okay. Fine. No, he was looking at to improvise, learn, understand few things, right? And also take responsibility, right? KRA will give you, as I say, will give you, ensure that you are there, right? But this will help you to grow actually. So this is a wonderful thing. I think recording, you can see that as well. So you shared straight from the heart kind of stuff, right? So this is what happens. So this is where the TL can also help the individual to grow and delay certain things if it's not required, right? Not required immediately, can be done like the Wednesday meeting, and do what is essential. And so there are certain things which has to be done now, so which is essential and adds most value. Okay, so so looking at the 4 Ds again. So yes, do, differ, delay, delegate, and stuff like that. And this is precisely, I think we have explained and everything in detail, right? I've spoken about that. And so this is precisely what it is. Okay. Okay. And also see what it says is do. See, there are, when you start, let's bring in the cricket analogy as well. If a batsman, those who are into sports or maybe any other thing, even if you're at work, you do a couple of things very quickly and accomplish that. No, that gives you a momentum. What is momentum? Like the car doesn't pick up the speed immediately, or the bike, right? It has to start and then it picks up the momentum. So similarly, the batsman who walks in and middles couple of great cover dives or whatever it is, right? Or straight drive, and the batsman feels happy. So the momentum is very important for the day. If you start well, right, you more or less your day will also go well. So this is precisely what it is. So So work on some tiny tasks. That is what the first thing says, and complete them quickly if it is applicable, right? And you will get that what do you call pleasure of accomplishing certain tasks. And delay, we talked about temporary pause and stuff like that, and reassign and remove unessential tasks. Okay, so this is where we can take a pause, or maybe I can take a pause and I can open this for everybody. And if more they want to share some stuff. And so we are talking about time management techniques. Okay, so anyone wants to come in and wants to share, apart from Arun, first of all, right, who wants to share what are the time management technique and what one can probably achieve and how they can achieve. Yeah, Ram, fantastic. Good to see your hand going up. Yes, Ram, please.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
Time management is an important thing when you want to achieve your goal. Time management is we want to practice daily, and we want to practice 365 days, not only 1 week or 1 month. If we follow every day, every year, it's been good for us and good for our health and good for our reaching our goal, and it can improve our skills. Main thing, we can maintain our health conscious good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. lot of good things. So it is not one day affair. That is what Ram just mentioned. So it is not like one day you do this, like the goal setting which we did. Today I feel really happy. Oh my God, I'm on top of, I'm on cloud number 9, right? And I want to set up a lot of goals. And tomorrow probably you're back where you are, right? So it doesn't work. So it's a continuous thing in process. You will fail. You will have lazy days. You will have probably far away from stuff and all. But again, the most important thing is like not being hard on yourself. Learn from, see, nobody can achieve anything without falling several times, right? So that is precisely what it is. So that is one. Any other views? Anybody else who wants to share something? And Nelson is quite, still. Shanmugaraj, let's bring in Shanmugaraj. Yeah, Padmanabha, you are also here. Fabulous.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon.
Sir, this time management techniques, so I am not that much aware, like speaking very formally and all. So what happens is like when we compare this time management technique or something what we try to adopt in our professional life.
Right.
So what happens is like we fix something, like we schedule something during this period or this timings, we have to complete this task, and we fail. So it keeps on dragging. We will not be able to complete that task with the specified time. Right. So there what happens, it is like it will try hitting the next coming task. Okay. So there we just try not to manage itself, not to manage time itself. So however it comes by just going with the flow, we usually do. But here what happens is like when we manage tasks, you know, it is like how to prioritize tasks. That is also very important. And prior to this prioritizing task, time management, it is like what to say, basic things. So we have to stick on basic things, and we have to forgive ourselves. That is like whenever we are not able to achieve something within the specified time, we have to just keep moving. It happens for everyone. It happens because of some call which we had scheduled for maybe 15-20 minutes. It keeps on going for 30-40 minutes, where we cannot control that, which is not in our hands. So we have to let go of these small things and still try to stick on to basic things. So basics are very much necessary. Small tasks, breaking small tasks into small pieces and trying to achieve. So this will really help us, and we have to, as I told you, we have to let go ourselves when we are not able to manage few things within a stipulated time. So this is what my opinion is about this time management techniques.
Hey, Padmanabha, fantastic, great. That is precisely what it is. Break it to small thing, right? Sometimes bigger, it will look very big, right? If you look into the nitty-gritty, so you can break it into small things. So that is what it is. Don't be hard on ourselves as well, and which is very important. Sometimes there are some who can push themselves too hard and they get disappointed, right? Which is part and parcel of life, and that is precisely what it is. Great. So we have Shanmugaraj as well. Shanmugaraj, yes.
Hi, good morning, Saran, and good morning all.
Good morning.
regarding time management, what are the topic we are discussing today?
Yeah,
I have one interesting technique,
sure.
which is known as Pomodoro technique.
Okay.
And I thought of discussing this technique even in our latest daily dose, but unfortunately I couldn't get the time. Okay,
Right.
regarding this Pomodoro technique, we have to divide our work into intervals.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be like typically 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after 4 cycles, we have to take a longer break.
Okay.
And this particular technique will help us to maintain focus and prevent burnout.
Hmm.
Right? So by having these kind of breaks through the Pomodoro technique, I believe that we can manage the time very well. Okay, and one more thing, what I would like to add is prioritizing tasks, as our Padmanabh said. So
Hmm.
prioritizing tasks also will help us to minimize the time which we spend on each and every task. Okay, and one more thing which I would like to say is like practicing something which we learn. For example, if you are learning something like Excel skills or something,
Yeah.
you have to practice it, right? And if you are not practicing it after learning, then obviously what will happen, you have to spend a lot of time while working on a data, okay, and then you have to relearn that particular Excel skill, and then you have to implement it. Okay, so practicing also will help you to manage your time very well. So that's my humble request to everyone. Thank you, Sarun.
Yeah, fabulous. Oh, no, all great shares. So this Pomodoro is like the technique where you take short breaks. So which we have in the upcoming stuff as well. Short breaks will help you, will give you adrenaline in your body where you can walk and probably come back. And let's be very honest, right? Focusing for a long time, right, by an individual is also a bit difficult. So these are the stuff which would help you. And practice, as Shanmughraj mentioned, is also very important. See, you learn a skill, like he mentioned very nicely, Excel. So if you don't just revisit those formulas and see how it is working and use it practically, then you might forget as well. So that is also very, very important. So fabulous and great. So let's keep moving ahead. Right. See, there are plenty of participants. I don't want to call anybody's name. So if you just want to come in, maybe we will just. Indrani is.
Yeah,
Yes, Indrani.
yeah. Good afternoon, all. Actually, time management is very important one for everyone, actually.
Sure.
So we are not managing for that particular time. It will be taking more stress, actually, first thing.
True.
So if we are fixing a particular task for particular time, did not done that, so we can take stress.
Mhm.
It will be creating some health issues, so other things. So we need to manage, because everyone are skipping time. Actually, they are not scheduled proper time, or if they are scheduled particular time for their task, it will be not happening. So many people. So if we need to practice that,
Sure.
so it's not come for one day, actually. We can practice that time management. We need to practice. Then only it will be to focus on our fix the time in particular task or anything. We can achieve our goal, actually.
Sure. Absolutely. Fabulous. I just thought of getting to you, Indrani, as well, because as an HR, right, and right, so you always wanted a lot of other employees and a lot of other tasks as well. How do you manage? So this is precisely what Indrani has mentioned. Practice is very important, right? Nothing happens immediately, instantly. So you need to work on that, right? And
Actually, in HR activity, we are planning in yesterday. I can plan one thing. We need to complete that today.
Okay.
But if another task is coming, I can skip that planning task because without fixing that time, actually.
Okay.
So I need to plan that. So that is one is the reason, because it will be create stress, actually.
Absolutely, it would. and planning is the first step in time management. If you don't
Yes.
right, you're not heading anywhere. So fabulous, Indrani, great share. And she's also mentioning uh, managing time also reduces the stress, which is what Arun also mentioned at the beginning, and many others as well. You did that. Okay, so let's keep moving ahead. Right. So I would request, let's do this part, and then if you want to, other participants want to come and share their views. Nothing is right or wrong, right? And so if you have, who knows, you might have some technique which you want to share, and so please feel free to share as well. And would be welcomed and very encouraging for everybody to listen as well. Okay, so let's move ahead. So we will focus on the techniques, right? Some of the techniques, and there are plenty of them. Some of the techniques is very simple actually. There is nothing rocket science and stuff like that. It's nothing like Mangalyaan 3. How do you ensure that it's there in the orbit now? And so it's not that complicated. It's very simple, right? So let's look at the time management technique. So this is what the crunch of this particular show is also all about, right? Yes, everybody should do this, that, and everything. How does one do, right? So this is what it is. So the first thing is like the very first technique is like to-do list. Very simple, right? So this to-do list could be your notepad, right, on your desktop, or it could be a kind of a pad as well, or maybe scribbling. So a pad as well. So this is very important. What is to-do list? So to-do list is nothing but the task which you have to do. Simple, right? This to-do list is nothing different than when you go out for a shopping where you make all the list what you have got to buy, right? As simple as that. That is what this to-do list is all about. So this to-do list will give you, right? Sometimes it happens, see, if you have plenty of tasks, right? You may not know what you have done and what you have not done, what you have not completed actually. So the point here is like, and suddenly, oh my God, I forgot that. So our brain is a very powerful thing, right? Definitely, yes. But if you don't, sometimes certain things can skip off from your stuff as well, from your attention as well. So to-do list is very simple. It's the same thing for your personal thing as well. Maybe if you have juggling, we all are juggling with our personal life and other life as well, corporate life as well. But the point is like for your personal life as well, right? It's not necessary if you go for a shop, then you have to make to-do list. Suppose what is the plan which you have for this particular month, right? And so if you want to go out for a recreation, yeah, that could be on a to-do list as well. If you want to buy something, that could be. If you have to do something at your home, you have to, right? If you have to visit someone, that could come, right? So these are all can be a part of your to-do list, and so this is very important. So if we talk about our corporate life or office life, when should you ideally make this to-do list? See, this should be done at the end of the day, right? End of the day. See, suppose you complete your day today, so you can, suppose you had made a to-do list, for example. See, suppose we are starting from scratch, we don't have a to-do list. So what we can do is like we can make a to-do list for tomorrow. What are the stuff which I need to do tomorrow? So all the tasks which you couldn't complete, which you thought you will complete, obviously will go in there, right? And then you will add few stuff there, right? So there could be a lot of stuff, right? So that is what it is. So this to-do list, once you do it evening, then tomorrow morning when you open, the first thing in the morning, your laptop or a desktop or whatever it is, the first thing is like you will visit the to-do list. You will see the task which is there for today, right? And there are some who will have the similar tasks throughout the day. There are some who will have different tasks, and right, so the to-do list can be different for a different individual, right? So once you have accomplished something in the to-do list, you can tick mark, or you can probably have it removed, so you feel pretty happy that you have accomplished that. So that's a kind of an happiness you get when you complete some sort of task, right? So this is the basic stuff which anyone and everybody can do, which is no different than our personal life. As I said, if you going out for a shopping, so you will know what are the things which is then not there in the kitchen which I need to buy, right? As simple as that. So very common, very simple, very important as well. right? So we have used this word a lot, prioritize, right? So what is prioritize? What is priority? What is important at this point of time? What is important at this point of time? What needs more attention? What needs immediate attention is your priority. There will be a lot of, in to-do list, there will be 10 or 20 tasks as well. But what is very important, right? What is so important at this point of time, which is so immediate? So that is your priority, right? So this is very important, and sometimes we fail in this as well. I generally, I'm also not able to master that as well, right? Sometimes we get into the interesting task which we like in our job as well, not focusing on what is important, what is really important at this point of time, right? And so this is very important. So if we master this two aspects as well, one is like a to-do list, another thing is like what should go up, what can come, what can wait, what is not required, what can be deleted, right? And what can be delegated as well, right? If you are in a position to delegate as well, prioritize, right? So the next stuff is like discipline, which is very important. So discipline, you can say, when you talk about discipline, discipline covers everything, right? Discipline covers everything. Discipline doesn't even, it's time management is one part of discipline. Discipline is like being on time for something, right? Respecting yourself in terms like your life, you as an individual, respecting your, maybe if there is something required, if you're walking into a meeting, you're not walking in empty hand and stuff like that. You have a pen and paper, because they're not going to share some anecdotes or jokes and stuff like that. It's going to be a business meet, so you have to write something, you have to make notes. So that is a discipline. So there is no time involved in that, right? On time, right? And having the task completed on time and stuff like that, right? So the time management in terms like this discipline. See, suppose someone have had a very late night and have to get up early and go to office as well. So that is a issue. So there is a discipline in terms like your lifestyle, right? And maybe on a weekend it can be, right? Maybe on when you're young, there are many who do that, or maybe even otherwise as well, not being judgmental here. But it's very important. If you have to be at work, then you have to shut eyes time sometime, as they say, right? So you need to ensure. So this discipline is very important. So this discipline, if you keep talking about this, is very important. It's also very important in terms of mindset. Discipline will give you mindset. It will give you what is important and how one should achieve. So if you remember this pic, this was in the goal setting as well. So time management, in the sense like you when you manage your time, you're able to set goals. What is the goal for today, right? Make a plan as well. We talked about that many, like even Indrani just mentioned. Now you need to plan. So without plan, we are not heading anywhere. Without a plan, we are not heading anywhere. As simple as that. So get to work, which is very important. Even if you saw in the time management stuff, that video which we saw, right? Making a plan is very important. Getting to work is very important, right? Sticking to it, right? Which is very important. So stick to that, and you will be able to reach the goal as well. So these are the 4 important things to start with: to-do list, prioritize, discipline, and right. So which will give you a direction in terms of goal. Okay. Further time management techniques: procrastination. So look at this beautiful pic where the time is going through its own count, and the later is a word, right? Doesn't want to do it now at this point of time, right? So that is procrastination. What is procrastination? So procrastination is a word, right, which is probably around the new year, which is very popular. As Ram also mentioned, if you want to achieve something, it is not 365 days, the entire day. You will have cheat days as well, as they say. What is cheat day? Where you're not able to, where you want to laze around, where you don't want to do anything, or you don't feel like doing anything. That's a different thing. But if you keep procrastinating every now and then, you set goals and then you don't want to do that. You set another goal, you don't want to do that, right? You are into the habit of vicious cycle of postponing things. Then it's not going to help your cause, right? Your direction where you want to head. The work which you do at office and outside as well in your personal life as well. So this is very important, right? As I just mentioned, you will have your lazy days. You will have days where you don't want to do anything. You want to enjoy something, do nothing as well. It's all fine. But how often is that, right? So out of 365 days, plenty of days goes like that. Then there is something to worry about. So procrastination is like, yes. Procrastination is something where someone makes a plan and right, it's in the right intention, but they don't want to continue it, right? So this is precisely what it is, procrastination. Okay, so let's move ahead. So the next one, I thought somebody said something. Okay, so this is again very interesting. Contingency plan, right? What is contingency plan? So contingency plan is like, as the pic also says, plan A, plan B, plan C. See, today I have a meeting, right? Today probably we are organizing maybe someone who's coming, maybe a client or something, or maybe we have to organize something, right? And suddenly something happens. So what is your plan, right? And what you're going to do, right? So that could be one. And so maybe the TL decides that this is the target which we are going to achieve for this particular month, right? And you're thinking about all the good things which right things to do. But what if the right thing doesn't work? So what's your plan B? How are you going to do? What's your plan C as well, right? So this is precisely, I'm starting my day. I'm thinking everything is fine. Suddenly I had a kind of a system breakdown, right? Or maybe something didn't work. Or maybe I'm called in for a meeting. I was not prepared. I had some tasks to do of the yesterday's stuff as well today, right? And suddenly a couple of hours has gone into that, right? So this is where what's your backup plan, right? It can happen. So you can't have contingency plan or a backup plan for everything. But if you're thinking in this way, so that's the right way, and this would help you to manage your time better, right? And
sorry, sir, I'm interrupting. I just want to add a point for this.
Sure.
So in most of the times, it is like not that easy to come up with a plan to avoid this kind of situation that is like contingency. So what you're trying to put across over here is like, we have to anticipate a situation which is like uncertain and keep an extra plan or something like that. Correct, sir?
See, obviously, in the sense like we all have a good intention. Our good intention is that today will be another smooth sail, a great day as well, which will go smooth like rest of the days, right? See, if I'm able to accomplish my task, maybe within 6 hours, I'm think, okay, let's take it easy and cool, and then let's finish it off in 8 hours and stuff like that, right? So, the thing is like, or what if there is 1 hour? If I'm lost somewhere, right? Can I still finish my stuff? So that is what you are thinking, where you are thinking that, take the example of sports as well, right? This many balls and this many runs, right? And sometimes you go very cool and easy and stuff like that, and then it becomes very tough at the end as well. So this is what it is. But Padmanabha, I think your question is like, in real life, can we have a contingency plan for everything? No, we certainly cannot. Are we thinking in those lines? If yes, then that's precisely what it is, right? So, so not every day will go on smooth. So what's your backup plan? And that is what we are talking about, and that is contingency plan. I hope I have answered your query, Padmanabha. And but you're right, I believe. Definitely yes. Not you can't have contingency plan for everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is what I meant.
No, definitely no. Right? If you're in a flight and the flight has got some snack, what is the contingency plan when you are in about 10,000 feet? There's no contingency plan, right? So we can't have contingency plan for everything. But if you think on those directions, right? If I can accomplish those tasks within 6 hours, and if I'm stretching it to make it 8, then probably something goes right haywire. Then what is that I would do? Okay. The next thing is like, when are we fresh, right? We are fresh early in the morning, right? Definitely, isn't it? So this morning could differ. see, we have process like some processes in Kapu where they work in night shifts, or maybe other processes in I don't know, other center, maybe other processes in Kulumangudi and Vilupuram, maybe HL process and stuff like that. So the point here is like, when are you fresh? When you start your shift, so when you start, if suppose you're starting your shift by 2 o'clock, that's the time when you're really, really fresh, because you have had a sleep, you've slept, right? You are here, and especially talk about this shift, which is predominantly we have the morning shifts. So you're fresh early part of the day, and you can't let that early part of the freshness go off, right? And if you see, when you start your day, you're fresh, you're able to think well, you're able to process a lot of stuff, you're able to devote your full attention and able to accomplish more as well. And if this particular part of the time, right, maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, is gone a begging. What is gone a begging? It's you wasted something, or maybe you're focusing on something, or maybe there is some distraction. It could be a lot of other things. Then you've lost that momentum, which we talked about there in that video. What is momentum? Do quick things in the morning, and then you get the good vibe early in the day. So this is precisely which is very, very important. So the mornings are the most fresh thing. Why we are fresh? Because we had a good night's sleep. We had a breakfast. Our mind is relaxed. Our mind is completely not exhausted at this point of time. Why do we feel a bit lethargic? Maybe see in the next picture, later part of the day, right? Maybe after lunch, right? The siesta falls in, or maybe our body needs sleep, isn't it? And body is like needs rest as well. So later part of the day, if you're not able to use your first part of the day well, then you will struggle in the later part of the day, and then you will be thinking, okay, too many things to achieve as well. Okay, so morning is very important. So focus how you can make it count, right? What are the priorities? Bring in there. But if your task is throughout the day the same task, then it's fine, right? You can't do. But if there are certain tasks which is very important, which needs more attention, more focus and all, bring in early part of the day and have it completed, right? The low energy task, which is completely opposite of it, right? Later part of the day, you can bring in the low energy task, which is a bit easier, right? Which is like doesn't need that kind of focus, or maybe so you can think. I may not be able to give example for plenty of things. Maybe there is something which you have to write, or something which you have to do, which is kind of a low energy thing. So you can probably take it to the later part of the day, or not important, which can't be deleted from your list, but which is very important. So these are the tasks which is can't be deleted, but it has to be done. So you can take it in the rest part. Okay. So next one, attitude, right? So what is attitude? We keep talking about it a lot. So attitude is like so attitude is like the way you think, right? The way you think. So we can have a positive attitude towards everything in life, or we might have a negative attitude. So attitude is all the way you think. So let's go back to the same example, Sachin and Dravid, right? Dravid could have given it up. No, I'm not able to do anything, and I'm not such flamboyant batsman where I can hit six over the top and stuff like that, hit Shane Warne over the head for a six and stuff like that. He could have given it away. But what is that he had? He had that attitude, right? He had that attitude. Yes, I need to work on the stuff which I'm good at. Right, I need to work on the stuff where my defense is good. Let's work on. Let's not throw away my wicket. Right, let's have a very strong technique outside off stick where I don't edge too many deliveries towards the slip and stuff like that. This is the attitude. So this could be we could be Dravid in our life as well, in the sense like we may not have a lot of skills which is very evident in others, but I have bit less of that. But if you work on if you think that I need to work on the skill, which again a while ago Shanmugharaj mentioned about the Excel. Not knowing Excel is not a worry, but not working to improve that can be a worry later, right? Not knowing how do we probably communicate could be not a worry, right? We don't know, right? But if you don't do anything about it, right, it could be worry. There are a lot of things which you do at your work. Not knowing that, right? Maybe if I'm processing an invoice, or maybe if I'm don't know how do I speak with that client and all. It's not a worry. It is a worry, of course, definitely yes. But if you don't do much about it, it's definitely going to become a big worry. So this is what it is. Attitude. Attitude is a very little thing that makes a big difference actually. So attitude is nothing but mindset, and everything around our life focuses on attitude. What kind of, how do you see that, right? Which is very, very important. Again, next one is like concentration. So sometimes it can be difficult for someone to focus on the thing which is there in front of them, right? We are here, but we are wandering around. Maybe it could be something. It could be in a movie of maybe I'm going to watch this movie with my friends, the Rajni movie, new one, right? On the weekend, my focus is there, what we are going to do and stuff like that. So not being in present moment. Sometimes they say in training, right? If you have a class full of trainees, and some trainees would be lost in some thought, they probably are there somewhere, and so this is can be a worry as well, where you're not there at the moment, where you're not able to focus on what you're supposed to do, and so that will definitely, without concentration, it will be very difficult. Managing your documents, which is very, very important. So what is managing your documents? In the sense, like, see, earlier there used to be files and stuff like that. I believe Arun, Shanmugaraj, and maybe others, Nelson and all, if you see a lot of files around in the office, but now it is going, it is becoming lesser and lesser unless and until more documents. And now, and we have to take a printout and file it somewhere for if somebody asks and stuff like that. So those are the things which is going off. So our laptop or a desktop is a kind of a place where we can store our document, right? So what is that we will store, right? So in the sense, like, if you have a file, right, maybe related to something which we have done, or maybe that particular meeting file, or this particular sheet or stuff like that, you should actually put a kind of a folder, right? Name it well. Sometimes we download it, we leave it, and somebody will ask you this particular document, where is that document, what is that you did, something which is fileable, right? So if you haven't stored it, you will spend a lot of time in retrieving that. So again, we may not be able to generalize thing for everybody. It might apply for you, it may not apply for you, but usually we do have some documentation. So the way you save it, how do you save it, how do you name it, is it retrievable, right? If I want to do, say, for instance, if I've done this time management, prepared this time and presentation, as I said, we have done quite some time ago as well. If I have put somewhere in the laptop and I've not named it appropriately, I've not even named it, right? So yes, I can do that star hash PPT and stuff like that. It would have come out, but is it necessary? Because if I had put into folder, suppose I save my stuff in D folder and I put that into the training, I put under the soft skills, right? And under that, the time management, then anybody can retrieve it. Suppose I don't have the file, I call home and somebody can open the laptop and send me that. As simple as that. So this can happen both at work and at your stuff as well. See, at home as well, if you have things around somewhere, you will not be able to get your bike key if you have to go for an urgent thing outside, because you haven't left it where it should be. You may not be able to find your dress if you haven't stored it where it should be, right? If you have to go to office, if you have not done probably your ironing or what you're going to wear tomorrow, then you will waste a lot of time in the morning. If you don't know where you left your shoes, it will take some time for you to as well. So managing your documents, it's not only a document about your stuff as well. Sometimes we takes ages to find a pen, right? And if you keep it somewhere, then you will be able to find it, right? This place, nobody takes it up. And this is what Shanmugaraj mentioned. Take time for break, which is very essential. If you are stuck with something, if you're thinking about, I'm not moving anywhere, nothing wrong in just walking to that cafeteria, or maybe go out, catch some fresh air and come back, right? Get some adrenaline, and also see in the lifestyle part and stuff like that, which we are doing even. So the point is like, so the very important thing is like sitting for a long time. It's not good for your health as well, right? Not good for you, because our human body is not there to sit and do stuff and all. So let's not go in there, right? You need to get up, you need to walk something, get some adrenaline and feel fresh and come back, or maybe if possible catch that cup of tea or coffee and come back and sit, and then you will feel fresh. Or wash that stuff and face and come back, and these are the things which will help you. I know this is not like going out and doing something and then never come back, so that is not the thing we're talking about. That adrenaline getting back and stuff like that, which will make you very, very time for a break, so which is very, very important. So the next is like this is very important, the last but not the least, which is very, very important, time management technique, activity log. So we talked about that Sachin and we talked about the Dravid. Let's have that example, because these are the individuals everybody know, right? I don't have to picture another individual for anyone. So let's look at this thing. So how do I know what are the stuff I'm doing good and where are the stuff which I need to improve, right? So first of all, what you got to do is, like, unless and until you jot down, even in the goal setting, we talked about in the goal setting, if you don't write your plan, and if you don't see that quite often, then it's slipped off your mind. As simple as that. That's what that person says. Even Zig Ziglar, right? If you look at the famous, whom we spoke about in the previous session, the famous motivational speaker, right? And also the writer and stuff. There are a lot of stuff about him, written books and stuff like that. So what he says is like, there are many who don't have a kind of a vision of where they want to go, what they want to do, and even if they have, they don't want to write it, right? So again, if you want to find something, you need to probably document something. So what you can do is like everybody can do, right? No matter which scale you are, where you are, and stuff like that. Make a date, right? Put in a date, and also the activity description. What are the activities which you have to do, right? Some will have a role where they have to write emails, where they have to probably talk to someone, where they have to probably do invoice process, and it's like so many things in their plate, right? And maybe do some calculation on Excel, right? Or maybe a lot of other things, right? Some may have an easy kind of a thing, more or less the monotonous kind of a task throughout the day as well, right? So if you are doing great, fabulous, pat your back and great, good job. But if you're getting delayed somewhere, if you're not able to do certain things and stuff like that, then this is where you need to document it, right? How much time I'm taking for that Excel calculation. This is supposed to be 10. I found out with my colleague. She's saying that it takes not more than half an hour. I'm taking more than 1 hour. So there is a big worry here. So half an hour is going in, and you don't know still whether you're sure about that or not, right? How much time I'm able to write that email? Though I have the format, but I have to write something. So I'm not too sure. I'm taking longer time. So it could be likewise a lot of other things, right? How much time I'm taking for that invoice process, and sometimes I'm getting it wrong as well, right? So this is so important. So this will give you a guide. See, we are our own data creators. If I don't know about myself, then others can always come and tell you these are the things, this is where we have guide and stuff like that. But knowing about ourselves, so this will give you, especially for work, it will help you. What are the stuff which you're doing good, pat your back. What are the stuff which you probably lack, right? Lag is nothing wrong, right? But leaving it there, right, to be there in the cold storage is a worry, right? So this is where you need to start working on that, right? And so just see Excel. Okay, fine. So company like ours, we have so many trainings, right? Take that Excel course and do that, right? If there is something which is not available, invest some time. There are a lot of stuff which is available on digital platform. So you certainly can learn from there as well, right? Most of the learning, if you if you want to, apart from that AI and a lot of stuff, chat GPT and other thing which has come, if you want anything, you can get it on the YouTube, or maybe get it on the stuff which you can learn as well. But again, what you need the mindset. So the duration, and note and analyze it for a month, right? So the activity log is like, you mention a time, you mention the activity, how much duration, make a note, analyze it after a few days. I've written few days, but actually it should be more than at least for a fortnight minimum or a month. If you have the ability, you can write it. But within the weeks, you will get an indication where you're heading. Like if you visit a doctor, not everything doctor will cure you by seeing you or by taking your pressure or maybe checking your nerves or seeing the eyes and stuff like that. For certain things, he'll ask you to take some ECG or maybe that blood test and stuff, and like, right. So what it's doing, it's giving the indication what is probably not happening. So this is a real indication which you can, as I said, we are the data creators. We are the one who have a lot of information on ourselves, right? So you actually know, rather than somebody can come and tell you, right? No, hey boss, this is what it is. You need to work on that, so you can find out yourself, right? Skill set. So identify where you lack and how you can work on that. And so, as I said, lagging is nothing wrong, right? But not working on that would be a kind of a thing. So with that, I think we have almost exhausted our time. So I'll quickly see if I want to take a final reaction before we look at the quote and we say goodbyes for this particular week. Anyone who wants to share something and any thoughts? Ram, yes.
Thank you, sir. Great session. You shared many things about technically about time management, how you want to plan our time management, and it's been good for us. And many juicy words has been shared by you. It's been more useful also for the future. Thank you.
Juicy words. Okay, fabulous. Thanks, Ram. So Hashish, yes, you can unmute. You want to say what you want to say. See, probably you want to share some thoughts. This is what not covered and which you want to share and stuff like that. I'm pretty happy to hear as well. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Very informative session, and learned a lot of things, and we'll wait for the next session eagerly as well. And time, you again emphasized how time is important for all of us. Thank you, sir. Thank you for all the information.
Okay. So if someone else want to come in, you certainly can, or else what we will do is like, I'll just share some quotes and then we will say goodbye for this particular week. Okay. As far as DC Soft Skills is concerned. So some of the fabulous quotes. See, quotes are something, right, which is so fabulous, so intriguing, which is one liner or a few liners, which gives you a motivation as well. So first, very important thing is like productivity is never an accident, right? I hope I'm on the full screen, right? Productivity. One second. Right. Productivity is never an accident, right? So we talked about the plan as well. It's always the result of a commitment to the excellence, intelligent planning, focused and effort. So everything comes around the efforts part, right? So productivity, somebody is doing good or maybe productive and stuff like that. It's never an accident. Okay. So somebody have to plan it. So Benjamin Franklin, what he says is like the lost time is never found again. So this is again Arun said in the beginning, and which is all common sense, right? The time which is lost never comes back. And Miles Davis says that time isn't the main thing; it is the only thing, right? Because this is life. Time isn't the main thing; it's the only thing. Okay, so this is again very, very interesting. Jim Rohn, what he says is like, which is very, very interesting quote. Either you run your day or the day runs you. As simple as that. Either you run the day or the day runs you. So you're chasing the day or you become the master of your day. But there will be a lot of things which may not go in your way, not every day, but there are many days when it will go, then you are the master of your day. Right. So with that, so thank you everybody. We had very